Peace and blessings, YouTube family. Welcome to another edition from the Doctor's Corner. Hope everyone has had and enjoyed a terrific Thursday. So, coming to you once again, family. It's great to be able to greet you again. Yesterday we had a conversation about being able to just tough it through, right? Those days that just seem to be unbelievably taxing and stressful, and we discussed in terms of how do we get through those days? How do we just kind of continue to thrust through them, right? Well, I want to also take your memory back to one of our earlier conversations in terms of particularly to my caregiving family, in terms of how we deal with the ups and downs and ebbs and flows of caregiving, right? And I shared with you, for me, one of the strategies is to think about what if, what happens, how will you feel if you don't have that loved one with you anymore, right? So you think ahead in terms of all of the things that you would wish and that you would desire and want if you didn't have them to hug, if you didn't have them to be able to laugh with, if you didn't have them to be able to go and hold their hands, right? And so when you think about that, that certainly and helps you and encourages you, motivates you to get through those tough times. Well, family, I think we can apply the same strategy to overall aspect of life, right? I've received a phone call earlier today about um, one of the young men that went to school with my oldest son, and he didn't wake up today, family. Now just think about that for a second. So he and my oldest son graduated together, and I remember he, like so many of my kids' classmates or teammates or whatever. Our home was basically Grand Central, right? I mean, those of you who have kids, you understand and know how that is in terms of, particularly when you're involved in their lives and you have them to come over to the house, and you're able, that's how you learn about them, right? That's how you get a chance to kind of know who they are and how they click and that sort of a thing. Because, to me, it was always important to know who was around my kids and who my kids were around, because I also understood that even though I was in their ear constantly throughout the day, the reality is, their peers had a much greater influence on them. So I wanted to know who they were, and wanted to be able to have them in our circle, and where we can eat together and watch TV together, watch movies together, laugh, do work around the house. I mean, it was, all of the boys that came over, they were just like, they were like my sons. That's the way I treated them. And so, but for my son to call and tell me that this young man did not wake up this morning, and just to hear my son be able to share, some of his emotions and thoughts, about that, and how that had him feeling, and it's just really allowed me, family, to just reflect, just kind of reflect on the conversation we had yesterday, right? When we just talked about, those days it's just heavy on you, where you wish you could just basically just stay in bed, pull the covers over, and sleep it off, and get through it that way. And so I think if we think about the reality, which is tomorrow's not guaranteed, right, to any of us, right? No bearing upon whatever your health is or whatever, you can be in the best of health. I don't know in terms of what this young man's health was, but I do know of other folk who, outwardly they look the picture of health, right? And um, you know, unfortunately faced the same similar fate in terms of an early departure, from much earlier departure than what I think should have been, in terms of transitioning at such an early age. And so I just want to encourage you, family, as we put that in perspective, as we think about the reality of tomorrow is not guaranteed. I pray that that would motivate you to, let's take the best advantage, the greatest advantage of what we have today, right? So, regardless of how tough it is, regardless of how heavy it is, that we be grateful in the moment. Be grateful that we got up and got a chance to be able to see a new day, right? So if it's raining where you are, thank God for that. You're able to see that rain. If it's snowing where you are, thank God you're able to see that snow, right? If you're certainly you're in a place where, it's a beautiful picture perfect day like it was here in Atlanta, you thank God for all of that, right? And everything that comes along with it. Doesn't mean that we're going to all of a sudden be, animated or in some kind of way robotic, right? We still have emotions. We still have things that will potentially get to us. But I'm just saying, overall, I think if we just really work hard at being grateful of this moment that we currently have, right? This moment that we currently have with our loved ones and the opportunity. Remember, I shared with you, those of you who've been with me since the beginning, since the inception of this channel, of this community. I said, in terms of, for those of you who are in that caregiving role, right? And when while it may appear to be something that doesn't seem fair, right? When you consider all of the responsibilities and all of the heaviness that's upon you in that role, and I challenge you to say it may be a blessing in disguise, right? It may be an opportunity of you being able to have some experiences that without this moment you wouldn't have, right? And even if that just means in terms of the time that you have with that family member, that's in itself is a blessing, because one day we know, one day, that fact won't remain. There will be a day when we all will transition. We just don't know when. And so I just encourage you, family. Certainly hope you had a great day. But if your day today was a day like what I experienced on yesterday, of a day just seems like you're just walking in quicksand, I pray that you take a moment to reflect, have a moment of gratitude, have a moment of pure reflection in terms of all the great things that currently exist in your life, right? Be thankful for that. Be grateful for that. And I pray that in that moment of reflection, that would allow you to be able to thrust through the tough part. And if that works today, I certainly pray that you be able to kind of bottle that in some kind of way, to carry that throughout, right? Carry that with you tomorrow. Carry that with you throughout the weekend. Carry that with you through next week and throughout. Because if we can continue to do that, this also taps into, we can apply this to an episode of that self-care we talked about, right? If we're able to do that, and we're able to successfully be able to see that glass half full, regardless of whatever the scenario is, to see it half full as opposed to half empty. We set our lens to that will give us a much greater opportunity of being able to rejoice, being able to, in the midst of the storm or the rain or whatever is going on in our lives, to be grateful and thankful, because the reality is somebody somewhere has it worse. Doesn't mean that what we're going through isn't tough, isn't bad, or any of that. But the reality is somebody somewhere potentially has it even tougher. And so we thank God for our measure, and we thank God for being able to, walk along with us on this journey. And certainly, once again, as we talk about this community, that's one of the things why this community is so important to me. This channel is so important to me, because I wanted to be a place of truth, a place of space, good space, where we could be able to join and communicate, and be able to share amongst like-minded and like-experienced people, right? And so I'll ask you again, family, to hit that thumbs up. Let's grow this community. Let's really get this channel to where we can take it off to another level and be able to get our message across the country. And so I'm asking you, smash that like button, hit the subscription button, hit that notification bell. So anytime I upload, basically you'll be notified of that and be able to chime in and give your level of input and thoughts. So hey, listen, let's continue to grow it. Let's continue to discuss and talk, and I'm wishing everyone well. Grateful for each and every last one of you. Please share this with your friends and family as well. And so until we talk again, family, peace, be well.